Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and other ladies, and then the ladies that like the gentlemen that like the ladies that like the gentlemen. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Meditations, Conversations, and Libations. It's me, Mimi. I have not talked to y'all since, the last time. But anywho, you guys, we're here. We have a guest in the building, and she is a busy bee. I see her in a lot of stuff. She's handling her business. I even had the pleasure of working with her. We're not going to talk about that situation, but had the pleasure of working with her. But you guys, before we introduce the guest of the week, I need you all to come and take this journey with me as I go into my mantra. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready? You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here's my mantra. Come on, y'all. Dear drivers of Chicago, please use your turn signals when you're turning, because how the hell else am I supposed to know that you're turning? So if I accidentally hit your car, it's your fault and it's not my fault, and I don't feel like going through all these insurance claims because you don't know how to use your turn signal. Where did you go to driving school? Thank you so much. Please use them. I feel a little better. I just want every driver in the world, especially Chicago drivers, to please use your turn signals. That is all that I'm asking you, because I can't read your mind. I don't know where you're going. I just want to not hit your car or you or the person that's trying to cross the street. But okay, it's another subject. You guys, we have a guest in the building. Reveal yourself. Hey, guest, tell the people your name and a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Hi, guys. My name is Anita Nicole Brown. I am an aspiring actress, model, T1D ambassador, ballroom dance instructor, combat fighter. Yeah, a little bit of everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just learned something new. I did not know you taught ballroom. That's so funny, because I've been wanting to learn to dance ballroom, like specific things. Now I know.
The dance company I'm with, it's called Dancing with Class. They're part of the May I Have This Dance company. You guys may have heard of it. But May I Have This Dance teaches adults. Dancing with Class teaches kids. So I teach ballroom dance to the Chicago public and private schools.
You learn something new all of the time. Okay. All right. Well, I got myself a dance instructor. I just want to learn how to do the salsa y merengue.
Oh, yeah. Those are two of the dances we teach our kids, too.
What else do I want to? I think those are my main ones, because I just want to dance really fast. And then I want to be turned really fast, like in a circle. That's
you got your center of gravity, though, right?
No.
Oh,
so,
yeah, we going to work on that.
Right. Okay. You have to start me from step 0. Okay, because I am slow. Little special. All right, you guys. So we're here with the actress Anita Nicole Brown. Can you just name some of your works? Like, can you just go down your IMDb page? Just name some titles, because when I tell you you've been in everything, just give us some things, some of the things.
Okay, so most recently, I say the short film Loyalty, and I say that because we just premiered at the Black Harvest Film Festival this year.
Ooh.
After that, I would say Pieces of David. Mm-hmm. That was at the Black Harvest Film Festival last year. Mm-hmm. I still love my character. I don't care if people were scared of me after seeing that movie, but I love my character. So
shout out to Lawrence Lee Wallace, my long lost cousin. We're cousins.
And let's see. There was the film Crisis Function. We're still working on Crisis Function Awakening.
Okay.
So, yeah, Crisis Function, it holds Crisis Function and Crisis Function Awakening. They're like my passion projects. It's the first time where you have a film that showcases a type 1 diabetic that's not dying, you know.
Right.
She's like, what is it? She's used by a special agency to basically beat people up and kick, I don't know if I can say ass, but kick some ass.
We're saying ass today.
Okay, yes.
Hey.
So, yep, so you don't usually see a lot of films that involve type 1 diabetes where they're strong, they're powerful, they're doing what they're supposed to do. And Crisis Function and Crisis Function Awakening, they're films that do just that. And so those are my passion projects. Totally for them.
So you're being modest, because if I was you, I'd just be like here all day, like I've been in this and then that, and then this and then and then that one film. Oh, okay. I would just keep going down the list.
It's a lot though. Like,
I know you're supposed to do this to shade people.
Okay. So I just finished a short film called Hades, which was a lot of fun. I got cast in. Let's see. I'm in a series now. It's called Triad. We're still working on that. Still got to finish casting for the whole thing.
Okay.
I've been in, Scar Lake is still filming. We're almost done with that. I've been in, I'm working on The Gag Date. We're still filming that.
Gag Date.
Yes, The Gag Date. We're still finishing that. We got a couple of fundraisers that we're trying to get off the ground so that way we can finish financing for that film. Let's see. I did Little Things by the Nuno twins. That one, where was that? I can't remember where that premiered, but that was a film dealing with depression and things like that, and how, a lot of people felt like usually it's the big things that cause people to want to commit suicide, but it's really not. It's like a multitude of little things that people don't even consider that can cause someone to question whether or not they still want to live their lives. So Little Things was a really fun film to be involved with just because of the message, and I liked the story. It was about this woman on a journey. She wanted to kill herself, but the little things in everyday life that she ran into of everyone in her journey that made her realize maybe life is worth, maybe it's worth a second chance to reconsider and try and enjoy this life. So Little Things was a film that I was 100% so excited to be a part of just because of the message around it. So,
do y'all see how she's like running down a list of things for all of you who have nothing?
Oh my God.
You have nothing. Take note from Anita. It's like, and she wasn't even finished. That was just like some of the things.
Yeah,
I feel like, is that just the stuff from this year alone?
This year and last year.
See?
Honestly.
See.
This year and last year.
You have nothing. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to the topic of the week. And this week I wanted the topic of the week, I wanted to talk about humble beginnings with you, because I'm always interested in like actors and actresses' stories of what they were doing before you got into it or what made you get into it. So my first question being, what were you doing? What jobs were you doing before you really got into acting?
I was initially when I first graduated college, I was in security. I worked for Titan Security for a real estate company, and then I transitioned over into real estate, just like the reception, getting everything online, photos, all of that stuff, scheduling viewings, things like that, working with the agents to get everything that they needed. So I was in real estate for a little bit. And that was pretty much what I was doing prior to deciding, I'm going to go and be broke and be an actor. So
the life.
Exactly.
Life of.
Right. I did end up my master's is in marketing, and I was lucky enough to be able to work for Black Enterprise Magazine, the headquarters here in Chicago. So I got lucky to be able to do all of that. But then, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna save some money and hopefully, be an actor. Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. I'm like, I have a master's in marketing also.
Yep.
Don't do anything with it.
No, not true.
No, I'm talking about myself.
No, not true. Even from social media to, publications and stuff like that, you're still marketing yourself. Everything
Tis
you
true.
do is marketing.
Tis.
Yes.
Okay, I'll
so
take
you
it back
do
then.
use it.
All right. I use my degree.
Yes, you do.
So, excuse me. My bad. Okay, so out of all of the jobs that you had before you just decided to focus on acting, was there one in particular that you actually liked? When you get to think about it.
You know what? I would say, and it's only because of who my boss was. One of my favorite position, it was with Stan Schiller, and it was at TRA. It was tenant risk assessment. Mm-hmm. What they did was they analyzed the financial risk of companies looking to rent spaces in industrial and like commercial real estate properties. So yeah, we were a financial risk advisement company, and it was fun, because it was not just like, man, these companies, like when, even this building right here,
right,
what it costs to rent the space and things like that, just to have your place here. And what some companies, like, they'll remodel an entire floor and things like that so a company can move in. And they wanted to make sure if they're spending $1 million to renovate that floor for this business, this business is worthy of it. So it was interesting being on that end of the real estate industry instead of just renting and leasing and things like that. It was financially how much companies, buildings are putting into designing a space and things like that for a business to come and lease, and how much they put up front and what they hope to make back, and that was interesting to learn.
That sounds interesting to learn. For me, I think I would be interested in that aspect, that entire aspect of it, just to see how it works.
Yep.
And definitely like the returns, especially if the businesses fail and you have your company invested $1 million into a company that fails. It's like, oh, how are you going to pay us back?
$1 million was like the small end. That was the small end.
Right.
Because, we dealt with the companies that were in downtown Chicago. So, all the properties in downtown Chicago are not cheap.
At all.
Right. And you've been to job interviews and stuff like that. You see these beautiful, elaborate office spaces and stuff. A lot of the times, the owners of that building had to create that office space. They had to design it, and they had to create it for that particular business. And so they wanted to make sure what these people worth, like what their business investments look like, how financially stable are they if they were to default? Is there the president, the VP, or anything, could they put up the remainder? Like, we were responsible for analyzing that financial risk that the companies were taking and letting this company lease the space. So it was interesting.
Man.
Yeah, it was
interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I think that was one of my favorite companies to be a part of, because I never thought about it. In all my years of real estate, we were just renting and leasing and stuff, and then I finally got to work with them, and that's when I was like, oh my God, you guys are doing a lot.
Right.
So, like when you're renting a space and your landlord asks for a security deposit and stuff, all that made total sense to me now.
Right.
After being involved in that world, security deposit, $700, that's fine, that's okay, I'm cool with that. Like, after dealing with the high end of what downtown, I had a whole new respect for everything after that.
See, that's when you know that you really enjoyed something or you were interested in it, when you can take something back from it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really had a job that I really liked. I mean, let me think. Think about this. I think I used to teach drama and poetry.
Oh, wow.
That was the only job I really, truly, truly liked. I loved it because I got to work with the kids. Well, they were high schoolers. I enjoyed working with them, and then I enjoyed the job because it didn't feel like work.
Right.
So I'm like, and then it's something that I already love to do. That was the only thing. I mean, I've worked in corporate. Corporate sucks. I've worked in non-for-profit or nonprofit. Currently working. It's a separate subject. But I think that was the only job. I've had a few different jobs too.
See, I liked the corporate.
It's a no for me.
But see, the reason why is because when I got into acting, if you have a degree as an actor or filmmaker or whatever and things like that, the one thing that I feel they fail is the business aspect of the industry.
It's very true.
So working in corporate, and I worked for law firms, real estate, things like that, I got firsthand experience of what that business world is like. Like hardcore contracts, negotiations, things like that. I got to experience that just by being in the corporate world. So when I did decide to be crazy and go into acting,
right,
I had firsthand knowledge of what the business aspect is looking for. It doesn't matter how great of an actress I am. I need to be able to understand my contracts. I need to be able to negotiate on behalf of me. I need to be able to understand all these deal terms and things like that are being put in front of me. And because I got to work in corporate, I got to bring that into the acting world. So that's why I can appreciate corporate, because they don't play.
Well, see, you have a different experience, but that's a needed, necessary experience, especially if you're in the entertainment business. And so no, I'm going to read this contract in full before I sign anything, because you're not going to get over on me. I wish more people in the entertainment business were aware of that, because I feel like a lot of people, especially new coming actors, they just sign away. And it's like, oh, you want me to be in your movie? And then they just sign on the dotted line. It's like, oh, but did you know you just signed and you signed a contract that said you're never getting paid any amount of money, no matter how much money they make.
And now you're stuck with it.
Yeah, because you signed a contract without reading. So, I mean, that's interesting. I didn't think about it from that perspective, but okay, I'll give you that for corporate. One time for corporate.
That's the one thing I say corporate got. I'll give them that.
Okay, that's fine, because that's all I'm giving the corporate. Okay, so if you were not acting, what would you be doing? What do you think you would be doing?
Actually, probably what I'm doing now. So I babysit, I nanny, and I also teach ballroom dance.
Okay, so
I would probably be doing that right now.
I gotta think about this for myself. I think I just really came up with this, but I don't know why it took me so long to realize this. I think if I wasn't acting or in entertainment, period, because I do 50,000 things, I think I would just be a writer.
That's good, though.
I love to write. So, shameless plug, you guys, go on Amazon and buy my book, My Life in Shambles. Shameless plug. My Life in Shambles on Amazon right now.
Oh, nice.
Go and buy my book. I would be a writer, because I am a writer. How about that? Boom. Okay. Okay, so you would be basically doing the things that you do now because you enjoy it.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like work.
No. Especially with dance. Dance has a special place in my heart. Like I told my husband, dancing trumps him, and he's okay with it.
All right.
He's totally okay with it. But it's because, so when I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, I also got diagnosed with diabetic nerve damage in my legs and feet. I lost the ability to walk due to that. So in my, college, the second semester of my freshman year, I wanted to take swing dancing, and I was nervous because here I am just learning how to walk again, and I'm thinking about taking a swing dance class. Was I crazy? What the heck was I thinking? And I know swing dancing did not enable me to be able to walk again, but in my mind, it did. And it gave me that. It gave me the strength back in my legs. I will swing dance until I can't walk no more. Swing dancing is my first love. And because of that, it taught me there's nothing I can't overcome if I want to. So ballroom dance and being able to teach it to kids and teach them the understanding of dance, where it came from, the beauty of it, and how learning dance will make you able to do almost anything you could want to do. That's what dancing taught me, and that's what I get to teach kids, and that's what I love to do. So
at what moment in your life did you find out that you were type 1 diabetic?
I was 17 years old. It was November 12th, 1998.
All right. Remember.
Oh, yeah. You don't forget. You do not
like
forget that day. It never. And mainly because November 12th was my dad's birthday. So not only that, I was diagnosed on my dad's birthday. Yay, I know how to screw up everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm sure that was a birthday phone call my dad was not expecting. Hey, your daughter's in the emergency room. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll remember that day forever.
So what's been what's been the most challenging thing? Because you do a little bit of everything. So you're an actress, you are a babysitter, you're a dancer, you are, what did I just learn? What else did you say?
Combat fighter.
A combat fighter, and you bowl.
Yep.
And like 50,000 other things. So what's been like the most challenging thing, I'll say, like in acting? Because sometimes you have to be on set all day. So what's the most challenging thing with trying to maintain being an actress, or like go with the rules and regulations, but also managing your diabetes?
I would say the only real hard part is getting the role. Like, I understand getting the role is hard for everyone, but I've been turned down because, like, well, you guys can't see it, but like, this is my insulin pump. Mm-hmm. This insulin pump is basically my pancreas. Like, your pancreas produces insulin. Your glucose levels go up. Your pancreas automatically produces insulin, brings your levels back down. Mine no longer does that. So this has become my pancreas. So it's constantly delivering insulin to me every hour on the hour for a 72-hour period. Then I have to change it out and put a new one on. I've had productions tell me they don't see how I can be the character that they're casting for and wear an insulin pump. So for me, the hardest part is getting them to look past the insulin pump that I have to wear and still be considered for a character in any project whatsoever. That's the hardest part for me.
What does it have to do with you being a character?
That's exactly what I say. But some productions have said, I remember one production, they told me, well, if people see the insulin pump, then we have to talk about it and we have to address it. And then it takes away from the film because now the film is about diabetes and it's not about the storyline that we had.
No, it's not about diabetes. It's about a person who's diabetic.
Who's playing
playing this role.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm an assassin. I'm an assassin with diabetes, but I still kick ass. Like, what?
Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt. I had another project tell me that because I wear an insulin pump, the character was like very similar to Sharon Stone from Basic Instinct. So it was a very sexually charged character. Mm-hmm. So I was geeked. I was like, oh, yes, I want to do that. Yes, give it to me. And they actually told me because I wore an insulin pump, they did not see how I could portray the sexuality that was needed to deliver that character. So I was passed over for the role.
All right. Is there, like, how do you handle that part? That's what I want to know. Like, what does that conversation sound like? Are you
To me, it's infuriating. It's really infuriating. Like, I know, like, as, you know, people of color, like, we deal with this all the time, but not only am I dealing with it as a person of color, I'm dealing with it with a disease that I did not say I want to have, you know, and I'm battling it every day. So to me, to tell me after everything I fought through to get here and still be here and be breathing every day, now you're going to tell me, oh yeah, that insulin pump, nah, we can't hire you because of it. For real. But, you know, someone wears glasses in the film and you cast them. Someone's in a wheelchair in the film and you cast them. But I just got an insulin pump, but you can't cast me. Serious? It's infuriating. But I try my best to prove them wrong. So I'm like, okay, so you don't think I can do that? That's okay. So I went and I found photographers, and I was working with them. I worked with Aubrey Rodheim Photography. I worked with Deviant Desires Photography. And I said, I want this to be a sexually inspired photo shoot, but my insulin pump has to be seen. I want it to be seen. I want it to be recognized. I want it to be just as sexy as everything else is going to be in this photo. You're going to prove to them what they said was completely wrong. And I look at it as a new challenge that I have to overcome. So I'm going to prove y'all wrong, and I'm going to show y'all what sexy is, regardless of having to wear an insulin pump or not. So,
have you had any casting assistants or just productions in general who turned you down or didn't offer you the role because of your insulin pump, but they call you afterwards after they've seen you do something else?
I've had a few, but it happened because what the person they wanted to do the role or whatever couldn't
act.
Oh, okay, yeah, they didn't deliver.
We can tell the truth.
I didn't say couldn't act. I just said it. They didn't deliver the way they had hoped. And then they came to me and said if I would still be interested. But by that point, I'm like, no. No,
you suffered through your terrible, terrible film.
Yep, that's your project. Terrible actor. Now you got to deal with it. You made your choice when you turned me down. I'm not trying to be vengeful, but you made your choice. You have to walk that line.
That's what you get in your 1-star rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what you get. That would make me so mad, because it doesn't make sense. You can't tell me if I'm portraying a real life character. Real life is different. Everybody's life looks different. It doesn't look the same. So you can't tell me, oh, you can't have diabetes because it just doesn't go with the character. So you mean I can't portray a real life person?
Yeah. Okay. I remember when Pieces of David, we had a small screening, and of course the actors had to be there, so we were there. And I remember on the screen, Lawrence, I give Lawrence mad credit for it. He picked the skin that he wanted decorating my insulin pump and everything. He told me he wanted my pump on my arm. He said he was going to have me in a sleeveless shirt so the pump could be seen. But the character was not diabetic. The actress portraying the character was diabetic, but the character was not. So the film was not about a type 1 diabetic doing all the crazy stuff that she was doing. But you saw the insulin pump in the film. And I remember when we were at the screening, and one of my co-stars, T.C. Rose, she had a friend there. And the friend was like, what is that on her arm? Why is that on her arm and everything? And T.C. Rose said, oh, she's a type 1 diabetic, so that's her insulin pump. And that was they was like, oh, okay, cool. And that was the last thing that was ever said about it. And to me, that meant so much because it's it starts with that. If it's seen, it's not going to take away from the movie, from the storyline. It's not going to do that. And the fact that, my fellow co-stars was the ones like, oh, yeah, that's just her insulin pump. Girl, come on now, let's watch this movie. It wasn't a big deal. And they were just like, oh, okay. And that, I think, I don't even remember anything else that happened at that screening that night because that was the only thing I remember. And I was like, oh my God. That made me feel so much better because, from working with them and from Lawrence making sure it was seen and it wasn't, this is an insulin pump. Look at this, but it was, and that was the biggest thing I got from that film. That made me feel so good, because you saw it, but it didn't change from the character that I was portraying in the film. It didn't take away from my ability to deliver that character the way it needed to be delivered. And that was the biggest thing that I had been trying to tell productions that were turning me down. It's not going to take away from it, unless I can't act. Then, yeah.
That's a different story.
Right, that's a totally different story. But that was the biggest thing that I encountered from working on like Pieces of David, that just made me feel amazing. Like, so.
So again, shout out to Lawrence Lee Wallace for being an amazing director, person. Shout out to you, Lawrence, and casting assistants or directors and productions. Do you see how it makes sense that insulin pump doesn't take away from a character? Like, just make it make sense.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to do. Mm-hmm. Is make it make sense.
Like, I won the Black Excellence Award.
Accolades.
Yep, for my role in Pieces of David.
More accolades.
So again, that tells you, insulin pump or not, like, it's not going to take away from the film. It's not going to take away from you being able to deliver and tell a story. It won't. So, and Pieces of David was actually nominated. It was nominated for Best Director, Best Film, and Best Actress. So you had an actor with an insulin pump on, and it still didn't take away from the storyline. Hello. So.
Yeah. These people. I do want to ask you this before I forget. Because speaking of like adversities and people in general just not understanding like your type 1 diabetes and then trying to manage acting and not getting roles or certain things, was there ever a point where you were just like, well, this isn't gonna work out, let me just go do something else?
No. Because when, like, I was diagnosed at 17. Mm-hmm. No one else in my family has type 1 diabetes. And I remember growing up, like, well, not, but, going into adulthood and things like that. And I didn't see anyone that was going through or went through everything that I went through living with this disease. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I know they exist. I know they got to be out there. I know there are several type 1s, from lawyers, doctors, actors, actresses. Like, they got to be out there. Where are they? Why do I not see them? And I was just like, well, you know what? Fine. If y'all gonna hide, I'm gonna make sure I'm not. And right. I was like, I refuse. I refuse to hide. I refuse to hinder, pretend I don't have this disease, try and be normal, whatever that means. But I'm not going to do that. And for me, it was just like, I can't, because if I result to hiding and camouflaging and pretending to blend in and be normal, then I'm just adding to what I did not see when I was going through all the problems and the complications that I was going through with this disease. I'm adding to that. I'm adding to the ignorance that exists around this disease because I refuse to put it out there and I refuse to talk about it. So it was an issue of, no, I can't do that. I can't quit, because if I quit, it's going to continue. And I refuse to let that be what's going to be defined as to what it is to be a type 1 diabetic. So I couldn't. No, it wasn't an option for me.
It's a little inspiration for the people listening. I can't quit. I just couldn't. It's going to be my next mantra. Can't quit because I just couldn't. I do also want to ask, because this, again, speaking about going back to all of the different things that you do, is there a job or a career or something that you would like to do that you have never tried, or you kind of have like a little interest in it?
Honestly, I mean, I love acting, but if I could seriously just make a living going and speaking and educating about being a type 1 and not letting it hinder you or stop you, I would totally do that 24/7.
Well, there you go. Now she's a public speaker. So everybody, please reach out to Anita Nicole Brown if you need her to speak at any events concerning type 1 diabetes. You said now you're going to be a public speaker.
I mean, because we're not out there.
And that's why they need more public speakers directly, specifically talking about type 1 diabetes. And that's true, because I don't really hear a lot of stuff, especially in entertainment, about it. I really don't.
You don't.
So I'm like, I'm just aware because of family members, and I have some friends my age who were also diagnosed as type 1 diabetics.
Yep. And outside of that, no. You don't see a type 1 diabetes commercial. There's nothing. You'll see type 2 all day, every day. Mm-hmm. But you'll never see type 1. And that's another problem. It frustrates me to no end. Like worldwide, it's about 400 million people with diabetes. Mm-hmm. About 10% of them have type 1. So we're a minority within this disease.
Yeah, I just learned something new.
Which really sucks. I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, stop complaining. I'm a triple minority over here. Don't shut up. Like, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. So, yeah.
I learned something new. Okay. That's crazy. You're a minority within your own disease.
Even within the disease, we are still a minority.
Yeah, that is, all right.
And so we don't get seen. We don't get heard. We don't get recognized. And I'm like, nah, but I still say it's on us. Mm-hmm. Because if we spend so much time trying to look like we're normal and we're like everyone else, we're adding to the ignorance that exists about this disease. When we stop trying to hide it and pretend we don't have it and we don't have to do this and this and this, and when we start speaking out about it, when we start educating people about it and things like that, maybe we can stop it. Mm-hmm. Maybe the ignorance that exists about this disease would go away because we're now putting it out there. We're letting the world see us for the goods and the bads that exist, So I can't really blame the world for not knowing about this disease because I don't see us out there telling them about this disease, telling them, hey, this is what I go through. So the minute we start doing that, it'll level the playing field a little bit more, but we got to do it. If we don't do it, we can't complain about what's existing and what's being perceived about this disease as it is now. We can't complain.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you one last question. If you could choose two newer, that's not the word I'm looking for, but two newer inspirations in the entertainment industry, who would they be?
One of my inspirations is Queen Latifah.
Shout out to Queen Latifah. I love Queen Latifah. She does everything.
I do. I love her only because I went through, I'm not going to say similar, but I guess kind of similar. Everyone knows she lost her brother while she was on the set of Living Single. Mm-hmm. And I lost my twin brother when I was on the set of Midget Zombie Takeover. And it was hard. And I didn't know how to keep going. And I remembered she went through the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I saw everything she went through. And she was still out there. She was still going after her dream. She was still pursuing her dream. So she showed me that regardless, a loss and things like that, you still have a purpose and you have to live up to your purpose regardless. And she inspired me to not give up, It was hard, but she was my inspiration. She was the person I looked to and that I saw still going and still being her and still being the amazing person that she is, in spite of losing someone so close and so important to her. And that's who told me that I could still do this no matter what. So Queen Latifah is a huge inspiration to me. She doesn't know it, but she is.
She's going to know now.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah listens to our podcast.
She was my inspiration when I was going through that. And she's number one for me, so...
Well, clear my throat before I start crying. Jesus
I know, I'm sorry.
Christ. Okay, and who would be your second one?
She's not in the entertainment world, but it is my auntie.
Aunties are so underappreciated.
Yeah, my auntie Sashi. And again, I lost my mom, who is my auntie's twin sister.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I lost my mom in 2011, and then I lost my twin brother in 2012. So when I was going through losing my twin brother, the only person that I knew that had just gone through this was my aunt, because she lost her twin sister just the year before. And my auntie she became like my mommy, you know. She's always been there in my life no matter what. But she stepped up, you know. My mom, if I had something I had to write, an article or anything, I always call my mom, Mommy, can you listen to this and everything and stuff like that. And like my auntie just stepped right into that role. You know, she became my other mom. You know, if I needed help trying to raise money and things like that, she'd call her friends and hound her friends and make them do everything. You know, everything that my mom had done, my auntie stepped up and did when my mom was no longer here. So my auntie, for like just being there and, you know, showing me that she made it, you know, even when she lost her sister, you know, she was still going to be there for us. She wasn't going to let us go without and things like that. And so when I lost my twin brother, my auntie, you know, was that person that I went to, the shoulder I cried on, the person who, even in this world of entertainment and things like that, she was like, nah, you got this. Let's see what we can do to make sure, you know. So my auntie is my other inspiration for what I went through.
All right, well, shout out to aunties. So shout out myself because I'm an auntie, and I think I'm the greatest auntie to walk this face of the earth.
Aunties are.
We are underappreciated. Okay, you guys, we have to bring this back on a lighter note before I go in the corner and have a breakdown.
I know.
But what I want to do, okay, so here's the part where you do have to tell us something about yourself. I hope you've been thinking about this question.
No.
Well, you could use what you just said, because I didn't know you had a twin brother. You can tell us something about yourself that people don't know. But the people who know you know that you had a twin brother.
Yeah.
Okay, well then you can't use that. So now you got to tell us something about you that people don't know.
Oh, God. Well, the people that are close to me already know it.
No, that doesn't count.
But the rest of the world does not.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. What is it? What is it?
I have an open marriage.
Good Lord. Okay. That's not what I... All right, we're just going to take a second. Just going to take a... I didn't know what the hell you were going to say. Well, that's something. You know what? I'm just going to segue into this next thing because I think this is actually going to be great. And since you have an open marriage, I'm just going to ask you to do a thing for me. I'm just going to ask you to stick your hand in my box.
Oh, my God. Wow. I'm putting a hand in the box. Okay, this gonna be fun.
You're in an open marriage. Okay, so listen. We're going to switch it up this go round, right? And instead of questions, we have situations. So we're going to do what would you do? So you can read the situation on the paper and just tell us what would you do. Oh, wait. Okay. What is it?
So it says, I just got married, but my partner doesn't know I'm $250,000 in debt. Whoo. Yeah, that's just messed up. That's wrong.
What would you do, though? You just got married and your husband didn't know. Because I'm asking everybody this.
For me, I would make sure there was no merger of any of our assets or anything until I got my stuff situated.
Oh, well, see, I didn't think about that. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I would.
You were in finances. Okay.
Yeah. So if he was like, hey, let's get the joint bank account, and crowd, like, no, hold on, baby. Let's, let me get my stuff situated first. And then once I get my stuff cleared, then we can merge our stuff and bring it together. But until then, because Lord forbid something happened to me, he would be responsible.
Right.
And that's the last thing I would want to do to somebody. So I would not merge any of our assets, any of our accounts or anything until I got my stuff cleared up. And then I would merge them.
You are much nicer than us. Much nicer than me. This is not what I said. That's okay. That's not what I would do. But okay. Just wouldn't tell his ass. You don't need to know anything. Okay. I'm working on being better. I swear I am. But it's going to take like some additional years. Okay. So Anita, one more situation. because we have learned a lot already. We have learned a lot.
You planned this. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't know what you picked. I just put them in the box.
My boyfriend/girlfriend does porn to support our lifestyle.
Well, okay, so we're going to actually end the show right here. And I just want to thank y'all for tuning in, because I don't know what you're about to say. And it's making me nervous. Can we just pick another one?
You just want me to pick another one?
No. Go answer.
Okay, so
what would you do? Oh, God.
You know what? I actually would not have a problem with it.
Okay.
And it's probably because I have friends that are actually in the porn industry. And as much as people think it's, oh my God, all they do is have sex. And ooh, no, it's a lot of work. Just like all that stuff we be watching on TV and we be like, ooh, this is good. I'm loving this. It takes so much to do that. It's not as glorified as you would think it is. So if my boyfriend was a porn star or whatever, I would try my best to make sure, well, when they got home with me, it wasn't work. Okay, first off. Like, we ain't going to make this feel like work. But I would try and be what they need, because that job is not pleasant. It is not pretty, and it is not fun. And then you have the people judging them for that particular lifestyle and that course. So I would try my best to make sure that when they got home, and they were home and they were safe. So that's me.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to close my box. Thank you. You've stuck your hand in it enough. Alrighty. Well, again, you're much nicer than I am, because that's not what I would do. Okay, you guys, we're going to move on, because I am still trying to process things from 10 minutes ago. Okay. Anita, so all the guests have to do this. You have to give us your mantra. And you have to take us on a journey with you. You have to do it just like I did it.
Okay, my mantra.
Yep. Think of something. What is something that you want all people to know?
You know what? My mantra actually every day is literally a positive attitude equals a positive outcome.
That's so nice.
Like, it literally is. I do everything possible to try and see the positive of something. No matter how dark and ugly it could be, I know there's a reason it's there. And if I put that positivity out there, that's all that I'm going to bring back to me. So I do my best to try and be positive. I ain't saying I'm always successful at it.
I mean, listen, this is real life.
But I do my best to try and stay as positive as possible, no matter what. Even in, like, with being diagnosed with type 1. I now consider it a blessing. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think I would be as aware of my body, and when my body's talking to me, and when my body's telling me things and things like that, I don't think I would have been as aware of it had I not been diagnosed with this disease. You know, I wouldn't be able to know when I need to sit my ass down and relax, when I need to, you know what I mean? Because of this disease. Like, our bodies talk to us daily. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the times we don't listen
at all.
And because of this disease, I have no choice but to listen. Because when I don't listen, she knocks me out. She'll be like, what I tell you? Like, so when I don't listen, she will make me listen. Right. And so I try my best to find that positive in everything that I do. No matter how ugly it is or whatever, I know there's a reason it's happening. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to bring it out, and I'm going to bring out the beauty in it and the positivity in it. So that way that negativity doesn't stay. Okay. Well, that was really positive. Okay. I just wanted you to say something negative, but I guess that's not going to happen. Because I am a negative Nancy. Okay, guys. So moving on to our cocktail or choice of drink.
thanks to you, Eric, I'm having a Lagunitas. This is a different one. First off, Lagunitas has like 50 different kinds of beer, which baffles me every time. So this is called Daytime. And it has a nail in it. And I can see why it has a nail in it, because it's, I was about to say because it's nailing me.
Guys, she only had one.
Oh, God. Because it's nailing me. I crack myself up. Okay. Well, done with that. Anita, you want to tell us what you had to drink?
Oh, my God.
Yes. Let the world know.
So,
because I'm just having beer.
My dad is a fan of Pete's Pizzas. It's on Western.
Yes.
They're Long Island iced teas. The premium ones.
No.
Uh-huh. I had 2 of those. I got up from my seat to come here and the room started spinning.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this might not be good going on a podcast, talking to people when I got this much.
No, this is the greatest way to be on the podcast.
Had 2 of those. No, I'm going to go home and I'm trying to eat some more food to absorb all the alcohol that's in me and you know, maybe go to sleep and crash or something. I don't know. But that's probably what's going to happen.
Okay, before you go to sleep and crash, can you please tell all the great people listening where they can find you on social media and how they can see some of your movies?
Social media. So I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I think that's it. And then, you know, IMDb and all that. Instagram, it's Anita_Nicole_Brown. Mm-hmm. Facebook, Anita Nicole Brown. And Twitter, it's Anita N Brown. I might change that, but yeah. I don't know why, but whatever. And films. I know Pieces of David is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I know Little Things is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. I want to say Unconditionally, which is like I think it's an 8-episode series. Mm-hmm. That's also on Amazon.
All right, racking it up on Amazon.
Right.
Okay.
And I have a feeling I might be forgetting something. I hope to God I'm not. I know Crisis Function, the Type 1 film, is the first episode is on YouTube.
Okay.
So you can see that on YouTube. Oh, Life Defined. It's another series that is also on YouTube. Transit, it was an action film that I was in. Mm-hmm. That is also on YouTube. Time Code Mechanics YouTube page.
You see when you do so much stuff and it's just like, I don't even know. Just go search Anita Nicole Brown.
You might have better results doing that.
Just search her name, because when you can list project after project, and it's like, you know what, I don't even remember. It's on one of the things.
It's on something. I know it's out there.
Exactly.
And like literally the only reason why I know about the Amazon is because I swear, no lie, I did a Google search of Anita Nicole Brown films. And that's how I knew what was on there.
When you Google yourself and you have things, that's when you know you made it.
Right. That's the only way I know what's on what right now, because outside of that, I have no idea.
Because you have things. All right. Anita, thank you so much for being on the show. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We're gonna come back and talk about that thing and the thing. Talk about the thing and the thing. You guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, wherever you hear me now, you can hear me later. Catch us next time on Meditations, Conversations, and Libations.
Bye.